Hello and welcome to MediaCast, the podcast series from Mediabrief.com, which gets inspirational business and marketing leaders to speak about their new initiatives, their businesses and connects, their quest for profit, purpose, and more, and how they not only deliver their products and services through multiple kinds of media, but also use every media type to create engagements to empower their businesses. Hence, MediaCast. I'm Pawan R. Chawla, founder editor of Mediabrief.com, and your host on this very special podcast episode is going to be available separately on both the audio and video platforms. And I'm delighted that our two distinguished guests today are Eelco Keune, CEO Keune Haircosmetics, who's flown into India for a joint announcement with our other guest today, Arpit Jain, founder and MD of Maison D'Auraine. Eelco and Arpit, welcome to MediaCast and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Pawan. It's our pleasure to be with you here and spreading our message with your audience today on this special day.
Thank you. Thank you, both of you, for your time. And thanks also to your excellent comms teammates, Sashna Vijavat Factors and Nandita Chabra of your excellent comms team at Maison, Arpit, for having made this interaction possible. Now, anyone who's closely connected with the beauty industry would know that Maison D'Auraine is a respected conglomerate in the beauty world, and Keune is a highly respected 100-year-old Dutch legacy brand. The big news is that Keune is exclusively partnering with Maison D'Auraine to launch in India. Two super beauty conglomerates coming together is the big announcement, and what's really beautiful about this and both of them is a focus on sustainable beauty products. We'll speak about that and more. But first, let me ask you, Arpit, to tell us a little bit about Maison D'Auraine, what it offers and stands for.
Thank you, Pawan. Maison D'Auraine, I founded in year 2014 with a vision to bring the best of global beauty brands in the Indian market. The idea was to touch lives of 1 billion consumers and add a bit of confidence and self-expression in their routines. And here we are. We currently distribute global brands in India. We have brands like GK Hair, which is a number one keratin-based hair care brand. Another brand that we brought to India is PH. It's a luxury hair care routine brand from Italy. And we're bringing a couple of very renowned global makeup brands also for the Indian consumers. But today is the day, which is a very special day and very, very, very momentous for us. We have been studying this brand called Keune, which is a 100-year-old very, very important brand in the hair care business. And we wanted to join hands with them to bring their entire line of professional hair care products for the Indian market.
Lovely. In fact, we'll talk about that at greater length. And now you, Eelco, you're the third generation visionary CEO of Keune Haircosmetics, a prestigious 100-year-old family-owned Royal Dutch legacy company. Tell us about your company.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me on your show. It's a privilege to be here. It's for us, it's very special that we get celebrate something big, which is that we, as of today, will launch Keune India. And we are in over 85 countries, but there was one country missing. So that's why you can imagine for us, it's really special to celebrate this very special moment today. And it was all started 100 years ago, or in fact 101 year ago, by my grandparents in the center of Amsterdam, where my grandfather was the chemist. He invented the perm, and my grandmother was a very good businesswoman. And the two of them were an excellent couple. And then at a young age, my father joined, which was 72 years ago. He joined back then the company, and now, like I said, we're in over 85 countries.
Lovely. And Eelco, can you just go on now to share the headline bullet points of your launch into India? You know, the product range, the price range, in brief, and why you chose to go with Maison D'Auraine, led by Arpit Jain. I'm sorry, Arpit, if I am mispronouncing some of the French names, but it's a bit of a challenge for me, so apologies. But yeah, please go ahead, Eelco. You can tell me first, and then we'll come on to Arpit.
Yeah, what we have to offer for the Indian market, the two of us, to be honest, it's not that we are going to sell a product. what we will bring to this industry is that we will shape up the industry, and we will help hairdressers to realize their dreams. So we see our purpose a bit higher than just selling a product. And it goes without saying that the product needs to be of excellence. Otherwise, you cannot perform in a market like that. But we're so confident after 100 years about our product that we can focus on the real deal. And that's really making difference and impact, positive impact on businesses and human lives.
Lovely. And why did you choose to go with Maison for your launch in India?
Yeah, for me, it was, I think it was almost simple because it felt right from day one. And I'm a very a spiritual person. You might not say from a guy from the Netherlands, but I are. And I sensed from day one that this is the partner to realize our dream with. And the minute we met, it was only confirmed that this feeling is the right feeling. So I'm really happy to partner up with this gentleman next to me.
Lovely. And Arpit, you've been a young visionary entrepreneur in the beauty space in India. What led to this partnership? How long was it in the making? And also tell me why you too felt that, Maison and Keune would make great partners in empowering the beauty market in India.
Thank you, Bhavan, for this question. This journey started of identifying the brand and then collaborating with Keune around almost 3 years back. I remember we were speaking to a few salon partners of ours, and we supplied them GK hair products, which is a keratin-based product portfolio. And they wanted us to give them something special in hair colors. And that conversation led us to identify and research the best of hair color brands available in the global markets. And that's when I stumbled upon Keune. Fantastic hair color products, worldly renowned for their colors and perms. Like just Eelco mentioned, that's how the organization was founded. And then we visited their headquarters in just beautiful facility, spread over 1 lakh square feet. A lot of people, a lot of energy, and I immediately fell in love. What supported my vision was the Keune headquarters also spend heavily on research and development, and they invest heavily on sustainable practices, which is very close to our philosophies and our vision and mission of Maison D'Auraine Hair. And we got the samples, we started researching, we started testing, we gave the products to 200 top hairdressers in the country, and voila, here we are, taking this partnership to another level now.
Great products and great marketing, great presence, great footprints, great follow-ups and personalized relationships with your entire distribution chain. I think it all weaves a fabulous story, and here are these two wonderful brands together. So, Arpit, tell me, give me some information on the launch. How will Maison help give Keune the kind of wide, deep, and impactful spread and reach that a great global beauty brand deserves and needs from day one of its launch in India? What pipelines of delivery will you open up for Keune products to be used by Indians? What footprint will Keune get thanks to Maison? Long question, but take it away.
Great question. And this is something that we've been discussing over last 1 year. And fortunately, and the credit goes to the entire team in Maison D'Auraine, we have set up our infrastructure base in over 250 cities in India over the last 9 years. And that's a very big achievement for a young company like us. Today, we have salon partners, even in tier 3, tier 4 cities. Of course, we work with all top salons in metros and tier 2, but also a distributor network covers up to 18,000 pin codes. And I'm talking about offline distribution. So this strength of ours to distribute products offline, along with tech enablement and business automation that we've been able to pivot over last 9 years, gives us a lot of confidence that we'll be able to place the brands very quickly across top 10,000 salons in India, and then grow from there to reach out to our objective of 25,000 salons in next 3 years.
Excellent. That's a great roadmap. When you talk about, you mentioned that you're going to be taking them to all the 4-tier cities and perhaps even beyond. That even beyond was added by me, but tier 1, 2, 3, and 4 is a huge spread. So will the price points sort of be tier 3 and 4 friendly? I'm not editorializing on buying capacity, but just going by the general sort of assumptions that people make when you look at those markets. So price wise,
We've positioned the brand very, very practical for Indian customers, and looking at the growth that is happening in tier 3 and tier 4, Pavan. Our prices are very realistic, though the brand is positioned very premiumly. We call our placement affordable luxury for the Indian market. What we want to do is value add in the salons and in the life of hairdressers. Though the MRPs across the region has to be across the country has to be seen. That's how Indian laws govern the MRPs. But our support programs for tier 2, tier 3, or tier 4 salons get more aggressive, because we want to give them an infrastructure so that they can also come at par with the advancements that has happened in metros and tier 1. And that is where our investment comes into.
actually a brand name like Keune on a salon which is a partner salon of yours, maybe not an exclusive, but who takes products from everybody. Point of sale presence on signage perhaps would also help, because it makes it an aspirational brand to have. And a small insight, I used to be editor of a Dainik Jagran publication called iNext in I think 2006. I launched it in India. India is the world's first compact bilingual. And in 2007, and then that big slump happened across the economy, there were only two things that people even in the smallest of towns were hassled about. They sold their Maruti cars to buy scooters because they had to pay the admission fees of their children. Education mustn't suffer. And amongst the women, the beauty products still went on really well. So, the kind of category that you're in, I think you have an opportunity to not just bring in the best, but also perhaps educate people about the great stuff, the products, the inputs that go into, the ingredients that go into, and then the sustainability bottom line in terms of the product, which Keune is going to be providing to you. And my next question was about your marketing plans, but I think you already answered the fact that, with the fact that you're looking at 25,000 salons across the country. But what is the kind of media mix, Arpit, Eelco? What is your joint view on how you should be marketing this? Because while Arpit, you know the space like the back of your hand, literally, and it's not a cliche, a worldview always helps. And that's the whole beauty of a great partnership with two amazing brands, a worldview from a global leader, and then you leading the entire India space in terms of your insights and your achievements so far. So what is your joint sort of, wish list for the marketing plan? What's the mix like?
Pawan, we both organizations believe in elevating the art of hair artistry. And we invest heavily in the education, which is exactly what you also mentioned, that education is so important when you're bringing global brands with rich ingredients. We invest heavily, and we have our educational academies already around the country, wherein we call salons, we call hairdressers, we tell them about what is special about this particular product or SKU or a brand. And then we also train them with the latest trends of haircuts, hair colors, and hair artistry. Once that education comes in, then for them, consulting their consumers, which is essentially the end consumer of the brand, becomes much easier. So that will be a big investment for us and a big focus area for both the organization. And secondly, what you also mentioned, investment on visibility within the salon infrastructure, whether it is a signage or product displays, shampoo units or color bars when you go into a salon environment. As soon as a customer walks in, we want to give them an experience of Keune, and we already do that with our other brands. As a focused partnership, these are the two things which we are really, really focusing on, and then taking our brands.
Lovely. Nothing like visibility and experience both.
I can't wait to add something. I think it's what every human being needs in life is attention. I think every human being wants to develop. And that's why we recognize one another in that we want to empower people to reach their fullest potential. And I think that's so important. I think many brands just talk about the product and sell the product and forget about it's the hairdresser that needs to make money with the product or to create the craftsmanship. So for us, it's not important to get the product in the salon. For us, it's important to get the product out the salon. So we want to help the salon owner and every hairdresser to celebrate the craftsmanship. And by doing so and providing good consultation to the person in the chair, because that's why someone goes to a hairdresser for the entire experience, then as a result, by doing that better than another hairdresser, you will become successful, and even more successful than you already are as a hairdresser. And that's what we strongly believe in. So we want to help the hairdresser to grow their business, his or her business. And as a result, because we're salon exclusive, like you mentioned in your intro, we will grow automatically.
Excellent. And Eelco, continuing with you, of course, India has a dynamic beauty market, but why did you choose to enter it? I mean, it sounds like a stupid question, but I want to know from you, what enthused you from the size and growth potential of the beauty market in India, especially in your segment, if I may, and of course, your partner, MAD.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked this question because it's a very relevant question. So you exist 100 years and it took 100 years to decide to go to India. There's a reason for this, because India is not just another country. India, you need to be ready for India. And I think, no, I'm convinced we are ready for India because we are the only company that has been loyal to the salon professional for over 100 years now. So please let this sink in. There is no other brand in the entire world that can have the same claim. So, and I think you always need to be well aware that you need to add value in a market. Otherwise, there's no reason of entering a market, right? And by identifying this as our unique positioning, and it becoming more and more unique because others don't, this is the moment when everything is right. So the right people in the right time doing the right thing. This is now, and this is the reason why we just now entered in India.
Also, just if I can add to Eelco's remark, together we've noticed that over the last 5 years, the growth of the salon industry in India is phenomenal, especially after pandemic. More and more people and even young entrepreneurs, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, want to open salons and want to offer that environment to people in their cities. So it's a very, very positive space and time that we are in. And that's when we decided to form a partnership and service our customers.
Okay, right. And let me stay with you, Arpit, now for the next one. I'm aware, Arpit, of your excellent plans, growth, and also your great focus on research. But I'd like our listeners and viewers to hear it from you, Arpit. The story of Maison's visionary journey so far and Keune's debut in India's dynamic beauty market. Tell me about that. Your journey especially.
Almost overwhelming, Pawan, to be really honest. And I look back 9-10 years back when I started this organization. Well, back then it was just like a small company. We had I had recruited 2 to 3 people initially. Went around speaking to salon partners and distributors around the country. A lot of times I traveled by trains. A lot of times I traveled by buses. That was the time. But that gave me so much confidence and made me meet so many people that I started to understand their demands and their perspectives of what they expect from us, a non-professional brand. And we offered them a promise which had not just products, but also commitment to grow them and empower them with right education and right infrastructure, which really facilitated the growth in the organization. Today, like I mentioned earlier, we work with around 10,000 salons. We employ around 300 people in the country, and the growth is really, really strong. We're growing almost 100% year on year, and we've done that for the last 3 years, and we are very, very positive about leaving a big imprint in Indian market.
Excellent. Any numbers that you might have handy on, maybe not your confidential numbers, but about the industry, the beauty industry, and the segment or sub-segments that you are in?
Professional hair care industry, I can speak about, Pawan, is estimated to be 4,000 crores as of today. I'm talking about professional hair products which are used within the salon environment. With Keune, we are targeting a 10% share of this particular industry within first 2 years and then grow from there.
And Eelco, how has Keune evolved over the past 100 years? The key, your milestones, pioneering feats that redefine the beauty realm. I mean, give me a bit of an infographic of milestones, if you will.
It's a very boring answer. We stick to the plan. Oh, really? No, that really. Last year we celebrated our 100-year anniversary, and I dove in the archives, and I found a fantastic article. One of your colleagues back then, podcast didn't exist, but the journalist did, asked the question to my grandfather, asking how come you're not selling to anyone else, because you can make more margin, right? And then my grandfather answered that question with, yes, I can, but this industry deserves a loyal partner. And I didn't know this because my grandfather passed away when I was very young. I didn't know this, but it gave me goosebumps reading this article so many years after he passed away, that we're so mind-like that his grandson is doing the exact same thing as he intended 100 years ago. And I think that is maybe a boring answer, sticking to a plan, but I think I like people. I want to be, I think the best way of describing it, I like brands that behave like human beings, right? Because I want to be your best friend. So you know what to expect from your best friend in good and especially in bad times. Then they show character. And I want to be that brand that you really can relate to or not. I'm fine with that. If you don't relate to our brand, there's perfectly other brands you can go to. But if you like our story and what we have to offer, we bend over backwards and be loyal to you for the rest of our lives.
Lovely. So it's driven more by the emotional connect and I think your own emotional investedness into relationships which are professional. Of course, the quality always has to support that. So,
yeah, we're not greedy. So maybe if you allow me, I can say that, for instance, this is a huge market for us. This will be our biggest market. You can smell from day one. I'm convinced. I hope you can remind me a couple of years from now. But there's another country where we could be very big, which is China, and we deliberately chosen not to enter that country because we have a very strong moral compass. I think that has something to do or everything to do with being a family-owned company. And as a result, we don't go into China because animal testing is needed. And that's why I'm so proud to be here, because you are so respectful for human beings and for animals. And talking about volumes, it's equally or even more important to be here than in China. So I'm happy to pay the price of not entering China.
Lovely, lovely. I want to ask you one more question, which is related to the fact that, Arpit said that Maison will take Keune into 25,000 salons across the country. So you're in 85 countries across the world, like you said, right? And so what is the total number of salons you're present in right now globally? It's just a number fix.
That's a very good question, but it will go easily a multi-million entrance when speaking of coverage worldwide. But it's very, because as you know, and we both changed this, it's not a data-driven market at all. So these numbers are really hard to find, but we judge this by simply knowing how many products we sell, and then you can make an assumption on how many hearts this will touch.
Right. So both Keune and Maison have been demonstrably committed to CSR and sustainability. How do you drive these values in your businesses? And what role do they play in your partnership and its offerings? I'm sure these shared values must have been an important sort of driver of bringing you together in the first place. But when you look at your businesses, how do you drive these values in your businesses? Arpit, you want to take that first? Okay. Or Eelco, whoever. Sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Arpit. It's yours.
Please.
Pawan, we all realize that today the environment needs more care. And, more than ever. We as an organization from day one was very, very sure that we need to have a bigger purpose and purpose over profits. And that's when we laid out the fine foundation of Project Green Salons. Essentially, what we do in this particular venture is we educate salons to take care of their waste responsibility, to take care of chemical waste, plastic waste, or any other waste that is produced inside the salon very, very responsibly. And we give them principles and directions how to take care of it. These things are very important because, as you know, oceans around the world are getting flooded with plastics. And I'm so proud that even Keune, which is a new partner today, and the very, very momentous partner, they also take care of this initiative, and it's very close initiative for them. All bottles are recyclable, and we do our best on a daily basis to drive these values within the organization as well.
So, Arpit, how conscientious are you about ensuring that all the products that you put out on your shelves through your supply chains across the country are completely sustainably created? No cruelty to animals and, the best of, organic ingredients and all of that. So, just tell me, because essentially you do import stuff, you do pick up stuff from some of the best brands in the world. And obviously they come with their own guarantees. But, what else do you try to do if there's any Indian brand that comes onto your shelves?
We have a very interesting research wing, Pawan, wherein every time we are looking to launch a brand or a product in the market, we put that product or a brand through certain testing principles and sustainability, cruelty-free, quality of ingredients, and where are these ingredients sourced from. All these parameters we go through and we check thoroughly. Only if a brand or a product qualifies on these sustainable practices, have a clean vision and sourcing the right ingredients, then only we launch them for our consumers.
Okay. Eelco, you want to talk about sustainability?
Yeah, I can't stop. So now this is, I think every generation has something to offer to a brand. And in the past, it was solely on creating the very best possible product. We never compromised on product quality, but we will never do that. What I added to when I joined the company 10 years ago is the purpose bit Arpit was referring about, because it was so reflected in our DNA that I think you have to speak about, right? That's what marketing does, because I hear some other brands talk about waste ingredients from ocean plastics and all these things. That sounds fantastic, but I know it sounds better than it really is, because it's a huge footprint collecting those plastics and creating new materials from this. It's huge, but it sounds nice. And I don't want a story that just sounds nice. I want to walk the talk. So what I added is that we are by nature, as a family-owned company, very responsible in our role in society. And therefore we put ourselves to the test. So we said, okay, what is the highest level you can achieve? Because that drives us. We want to be the very best at everything we do. We don't settle for mediocrity. We want to be the very best at everything. So also when it comes to sustainability. So then we found out that B Corp is the most important certificate for companies that put purpose above profit. So then we said, okay, let's put ourselves to the test. And 2 years ago, we started this audit. Please realize 2 years. It took us 2 years to finalize this complete audit. And I have a news for you, because as of this month, we are a certified B Corp.
Wow. Wonderful.
And knowing that last year we became royal, so we were recognized as a royal company by our king. That combination, that I'm really proud of. And of course, you can put every sticker on the wall. And in the end, it's do you walk the talk? And that, I can assure you, that's what we do.
I just love the way you're beaming with pride at this, and should you. Really nice.
And that's where this partnership comes in. because I was visiting a salon yesterday, and this person said, "Chet, it feels like we're taking care of your baby, right?" And that was so spot on. And now we do everything we can on a daily basis, but then it's in your hands to get the product and our philosophy there where it belongs, in the salon industry. So yes, it's right. It's our baby is now taken care of Maison D'Auraine, and in my vision, the most ambitious hairdressers of India.
Lovely, wonderful. I've really enjoyed my conversation, Arpit and Eelco, and I just think it was full of insights, and I see the passion and the connectedness between the two of you all when you come together as partners to launch Keune, such a lovely brand, through your amazing Maison network across the country. So I wish you all the very best. And thank you for having given me time on a Saturday evening, no less, both of you gentlemen. Thanks for the insights and the wisdom you've shared. What did you think of our conversation on MediaCast on Mediabrief?
Thank you, Pawan. Honestly, we thoroughly loved it. I can say about myself, but I know Eelco, we've been discussing.
Absolutely.
This is something that we really, really enjoyed, and we look forward to engaging with you.
Thank you both for your generosity and your kind words, and thanks once again to Ashna Vij of Adfactors PR and Nandita Chabra of Maison for having made this interaction possible. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My distinguished guests on this episode of MediaCast were Arpit Jain, founder and MD of Maison D'Auraine, and Eelco Keune, CEO Keune Haircosmetics, both leaders of respected beauty conglomerates that have come together to further empower the beauty industry in India. I hope you enjoyed this conversation, found it insightful and interesting. I certainly did. Till we meet again at the next episode of the MediaCast podcast series from Mediabrief.com, this is the host and friend Pawan Chawla saying take care, stay safe, stay beautiful inside and out. Bye-bye.